Welcome to Thinking Like an Economist with Jess and Carissa.
Today we're going to discuss the budget that is still undecided because the President and Congress cannot decide on an agreement.
The budget is part of fiscal policy, and fiscal policy is the use of government spending and revenue collection to influence the economy.
Currently, our national debt is $16 trillion. The national debt is the sum total of the deficit it has accumulated. A budget deficit is when the government's total annual spending is less than the total collected revenues.
An article from Schmoop said that fiscal policy goes down and causes a recession when there is not enough money in circulation.
Fiscal policy goes up and causes inflation when there is too much money in circulation.
There are factors that make the fiscal policy go up or down. If there is a recession, government spending will increase and taxes would decrease. If the economy is on the rise, they may decrease spending and increase taxes. Right now, the United States economy is a mix, but more like a free market. The more involvement from the government would change the type of economy the United States has. Recently, we have talked to some politicians about their views on what we should do with the budget. The first politician we talked to was Michelle Bachmann, supporting the Tea Party.
The Tea Party's policies are based on supply-side economics, a school of thought based on the idea that the supply of goods drives the economy. It focuses on taxes with the idea that tax cuts increase total employment so much that the government actually collects more in taxes at the new, lower tax rate. Our main ideas are to eliminate excessive taxes, eliminate the national debt, eliminate deficit spending, out-of-control spending invites inflation, and protect free markets by deregulating businesses. Some of the ways that they are going to try and eliminate the debt is by cutting government spending. A few of the things they want us to do is end all foreign aid to countries that don't support us, eliminate all earmarks, trim annually appropriated spending to the 2010 levels, eliminate the Department of Education, eliminate the Department of Energy, and more. And they want to extend the Bush tax cuts.
While analyzing what the Tea Party wants, some questions are raised. With all of the spending they want to cut, what happens to the jobs in all of those sectors? And if those people lose their jobs, the unemployment rate will rise. Extending the Bush tax cuts will lower federal income rates for everyone, which would help the people. Next, we have President Obama representing the Democrats.
The Democrats want to reduce the deficit by $384 billion. Reduce debt as a percentage of the economy beginning in 2015. They want to make middle-class relief permanent and assume savings from not extending the Bush tax cuts for millionaires, closing tax loopholes that provide incentives to ship jobs overseas, and reducing special tax breaks for the super wealthy. Supports the buffet rule that ensures that the wealthy do not face lower effective tax rates than working families. Protects Medicaid and does not assume funding for overseas contingency operations after 2014, saving $322 billion compared with the president's budget.
By reducing the deficit, they will be cutting government spending. Cutting government spending may result in lost jobs, but by cutting government spending, we get rid of a lot of the debt that has accumulated over time. By ending Bush tax cuts, taxes may be higher because those tax cuts lowered the federal income rate. Next, we have Paul Ryan supporting the Republicans.
Happening. Here's what would happen under our proposed budget, what we're calling the path to prosperity. As you can see, we won't come anywhere close to the tipping point, and we'll pay off the debt over time. So how will we do it? We will cut spending. Washington's unsustainable spending is driving the nation's permanent plunge into debt. Look at the growth of government under the current path we are on. The government grows to such high levels that by the time my 3 children are my age, the government will be twice the size for them than what it is for me. Our plan brings spending back down to the historic level of 20% as a share of our economy. Washington has not been telling you the truth. If we don't reform spending on government health and retirement programs, we have zero hope of getting our spending and as a result our debt crisis under control. Next year, the government spends 68 cents out of every dollar you pay in taxes just to pay for these health and retirement programs and interest on the debt. By the year 2025, they will consume every penny of every tax dollar you send to Washington. Our budget saves and strengthens these programs. It fixes the flaws in Medicare and Medicaid that have made rising costs nearly impossible to check. This is the only way these programs can hope to survive and function into the future.
Lowering taxes will flow money into the economy and raise demand for products, which will hopefully increase the supply the producers make. Cutting government spending may result in job loss, but a lower debt that will make America more prosperous. Next, there is the Libertarian Plan. Libertarians want to cut $1 trillion in spending during the first year of Ron Paul's presidency, eliminating 5 cabinet departments: Energy, HUD, Commerce, Interior, and Education, abolishing the Transportation Security Administration and returning responsibility for security to private property owners, abolishing corporate subsidies, stopping foreign aid, ending foreign wars, and returning most other spending to 2006 levels, lowers the corporate tax rate to 15%, making America competitive in the global market, allows American companies to repatriate capital without additional taxation, spurring trillions in new investment, extends all Bush tax cuts, abolishes the death tax, ends taxes on personal savings, allowing families to build a nest egg. Extending the Bush tax cuts creates more money for everyone in the economy. They will be more willing to spend with the new sum of money they collect. By cutting out government spending, there is a potential for job loss, and that will raise unemployment. Now we have the views of the citizens.
We should raise taxes and government spending.
By raising taxes, that pushes consumers into not spending and does not help the economy. Raising government spending will only add to the national debt. None of this will help the economy. The debt will get out of control and the country will be in another Great Depression. After analyzing all of the different options for the budget, Carissa and I believe that we should decrease government spending. This is because we need to lower the national debt so our country can be prosperous and not owing others. We want to raise the Social Security retirement age to 70. This will save around $13 billion and that will decrease the debt. We also believe that taxes should be decreased because the demand for products will rise as people have more money to spend, thus pushing more money into the economy and creating economic growth. The middle-income household income tax rate for a married couple is 28% on taxable income over $73,200 to $110,000 plus. It should be reduced to 25%. It may not be a lot, but it is enough for every family, and the amount of money flowing back in the economy will add up. Thank you for watching Thinking Like an Economist with Jess and Carissa.